Karen from EdibleWildFood.com here, and I'm in a patch of Valerian, Valeriana officinalis. This plant is native of Europe and Asia, and its name comes from Latin, valere, which basically means be well. And it's suspected that this is the same reason that Valium got its name as well. So let's get started. Here's what the leaves look like. Now there are different species of valerian depending on where you live. This is a plant that grows throughout the world. So depending on where you live, depends on this actual species of what you have. Let's just take a look there. I better cut here because the wind is picking up. Hippocrates, he was dubbed father of medicine, and he was definitely no stranger to valerian. In fact, this celebrated Greek physician and philosopher wrote about valerian's therapeutic effects and benefits, and since then it has been documented by Galen, Dioscorides, and many other ancient physicians. These doctors traditionally used the root as a carminative and as a way to help with tremors and nausea. There's another stand of it there. Chance says there's more up here, so let's follow Chance. Now, before I go into any of the medicinal information, I did mention that this is edible, so let's get to that first because it is actually quite brief. The seeds are edible, and the root is edible, but if you consume this raw, you're going to be in some serious trouble. Never consume it raw. This has to be cooked. And there are many people out there that claim that the root is actually quite tasty. I don't know myself. I'm going to be totally honest. I've never used this plant as food. I do have an occasional cup of tea with it, though, to help at the end of a stressful day. But anyways, having said that, apparently you can cook it and grind it into a powder. But once again, I just want to mention, this must be used with caution. Always cook the root, because this is a very powerful plant. And why? Well, let's get into some of the medicinal benefits. Make no mistake, this plant, the flowers may look pretty, and I'm going to have to just try to speak up over the wind. It doesn't want to stop right now. Anyways, the roots are odorous. In fact, a better word would be they outright stink. And anybody who's had valerian tea will attest to that, or has had any experience with the valerian. Now, the roots are often harvested 2 years after maturation, and they're commonly used in tinctures and teas to ease tension. Once harvested, you can clean the roots, process them, dry them, and store them for use as teas, tinctures, and other herbal preparations. Externally, it's actually beneficial in the treatment of eczema, ulcers, and some minor injuries. Valerian is a nervine. It's an antidepressant, it's a hypnotic, hypotensive, sedative, antispasmodic, and a carminative. And some of the constituents inside the root of this plant include valerianic acid, valerione, or I can't remember if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so I apologize. I think it's valerinone. Anyway, it is a sedative. It has isovaleric acid. It has iridoids, alkaloids. It has phenolics, quercetin, camphene, as well as many other constituents. This plant has been known to help with a multitude of conditions, from anxiety to depression to migraine headaches, you name it. And having said that, if you are pregnant, if you are lactating, please, please stay away from this plant unless Your qualified health practitioner has said it is okay to use this. And I don't think anybody would, quite frankly, but you never know. Anyways, having said that, the same warning can go for everyone. Never, ever take this plant, because you, especially if you're on other medications, there are contraindications, possibly, as I think warfarin is one of them, and you just don't want to make any mistakes. And I can't stress that enough. Always, always get advice from a qualified health professional. And that health professional, by the way, doesn't mean a medical doctor. The reason why I mentioned not getting advice from a doctor, a medical doctor, is because the vast majority of them have absolutely no experience with the working with herbals in conjunction with mainstream medicine. I do know for a fact some of them do, but not all of them do. So be very careful, but again, always seek advice from a qualified health professional when you're dealing with herbals. Now, having said that, Valerian, interestingly enough, is credited with alleviating anxiety and depression. Valerian and Valium actually both work to increase what's called GABA. And GABA is something that's very essential in our body. And when we have a deficiency of it, it increases anxiety. Valerian also has an antioxidant action. The flavonoids in this actually help to eliminate free radicals and protect cells from oxidative stress. It also has an anti-inflammatory effect. And it's also an antimicrobial, which means it helps with fighting various bacteria that may harm us. There's no shortage of what this plant can do. In fact, modern day herbalists, naturopaths, many of them all rely on Valerian because it really helps, especially on our nervous system. And let's face it, in today's world, many of us are taking a hit from listening to the news, the stress of paying our bills, and having a calm central nervous system is very important to overall health. Chance has been patiently waiting, so I'm going to let him have his walk, and I'm going to take some of this home and I'm going to dig up some roots and show you what that looks like shortly. I'm back home where I can control the wind, and I just wanted to show you the close-up of these flowers. They are quite fragrant. And here is the root system. Quite fibrous. I know there was more in the ground. It was hard to get at it. But nonetheless, I got enough to show you what the root system looks like. And on that note, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video right to the end. I truly appreciate it. If you're brand new to my channel, if you could consider subscribing. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. If you like this video, please share in your social media. Be sure to hit the bell for future notification. And please give this a thumbs up. Thank you.